Little girls, I am in the business of putting old heads on young shoulders, and all my pupils are the creme de la creme. Give me a girl at an impressionable age, and she is mine for life. You girls are my vocation. If I were to receive a proposal of marriage tomorrow from the Lord Lion, King of Arms, I would decline it. I am dedicated to you in my prime. And my summer in Italy has convinced me that I am truly in my prime. Sidney, I have just thrown up on some of the best people in Hollywood. Now is no time to be sensitive. What was the best picture?
I'm not telling you.
I'm not asking you. I'm threatening you, you crud!
Now, I'm definitely not going to tell you.
I'm sorry, I take it back, Sidney. You're not a crud. Go!
Am I still an arsehole?
Definitely. A cabinet maker and a designer of gibbets, a member of the town council of Edinburgh, the keeper of 2 mistresses who brought him 5 children between them. Blood tells. He played much dice and fighting cocks. Eventually, he was a wanted man for having robbed the excise office. Not that he needed the money. He was a burglar for the sake of the danger. He died cheerfully on a gibbet of his own devising in 1788. That is the stuff I am made of.
Now, you've got more awards than most people can fit on one mantelpiece. What is your feeling about awards?
I don't really know. It seems to me, I mean, I suppose you're talking about Oscar awards, because that's...
Well, and practically every other thing I read that you seem to have picked up.
Well, awards are always, I mean, they're nice to have, and they're very rewarding to have when you realize you've been awarded them by people who are in your own profession. And therefore one can't treat them lightly. They are very meaningful as far as that is concerned. When people ask you, what will it mean to you now you've got this award, it's difficult to say what it means. It just means that you want to go on and hope you can live up to it, really.
Io ci risichi venire a parlare con voi, come si capisce ragione e sa cosa doveva fare. Io si sbarazzati da besci che cos'ha tutto sto casino. E allora? E perché non può stare?
Non posso.
E perché?
Ma non posso.
Ma voi siete siciliano?
No, sono calabrese io.
Io vado mano sto favore, un paesano now.
And on top of that, you signed me for a fight at 155, and if I don't make the 155, I lose $15,000.
That's right.
Oh, you're supposed to be a manager. You're supposed to know what you're doing.
I did just what I wanted to do.
That's what I'm worried about. You did it.
You want a title shot?
What are you talking?
Do you want a title shot?
What am I in? What am I in, a circus over here? I asked him, he's got more sense about this.
Ah sì, ma io è solo, noi ci siamo 3. E io è armato e noi ci siamo armati. Perciò, per chi c'è la medaglia a vigio, non ci sarà monete.
Tu non capisci. Chi sono il suo quartiere?
Sì, ma io conosco lui Casino Rioco e un girone non niente a Fanucci.
Come?
Joe da Greek da Seconda Avenue, Frank Pignataro, un T5 strade e un girone non niente a Fanucci.
You remember that feeling or any specifics of that night?
Yeah, I was actually in Italy doing a movie with Bertolucci called 1900. So I got a call about, I guess it was about 6 in the morning or something, their time. It's 9 hours later. And so I was shooting, so.
That's when you found out about the nomination?
Yeah, no, that's when I found out I had won.
Oh, you weren't at the show?
No,
Oh, wow, you know what? That's big time. That's when you know you're a real movie star, when you don't even go and you win.
Plow all day, I'm a worker, number 2. Ain't no man better than me, because there ain't no man around who ain't old or full of mischief. I know your plight. My plight? Am I hard to hear? 'Cause you keep repeating everything.
I don't want them on stage with me. I don't want them in this phony business, and I don't want them anywhere near the bastards who run it. But you have to let me be with them, Sid. I'm a good mother. I love you all. You won't forget me, will you? Promise you won't.
And though Judy Garland did not receive this honor in her time, I am certain that this moment is an extension of the celebration of her legacy that began on our film set. Ms. Garland, you are certainly among the heroes who unite and define us, and this is certainly for you.
What does that look like? 5 marbles. Got another one in my pocket. 6 marbles. I'm looking for marbles all day long.
God, you've got a short memory. Have you forgotten? I knew you when your name was Saul. You were running packages and going to a drawing school. Don't interrupt me. Who paid for that drawing school, Rico? Who took you by the hand, led you across this country? Who introduced you to his friends, the buyers, and they showed you all about the minis, the middies, the maxis, and the fabrics, silks, satins?
But I delivered, didn't I?
Delivered? Half your creations are copies.
Everybody copies.
You're right. So don't come on like a half-assed genius. I used to get goosebumps every time I looked at that flag. When I was a kid sitting alone in the room playing the radio, if they ever played the national anthem, I stood up all alone in the room. I stood up at attention. Don't sell me America. Now they're making jock straps out of the flag.
Everybody kept saying, you may win this. There's a very good chance. And I must admit that I wanted to receive that award. Oh, boy. There's no question. As I say, we can change our values, but I certainly wanted it at that time. I outfitted myself. I was tailored down to the last stitch. Everything was wonderful. And I got in the car to go to the theater that night. Absolutely calm, cool, and collected. I left the tickets. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know anything. It was panic.
Why do you drink so much?
Because it's not fattening, and it's not good for me. How many things can you say that about?
You tell me that I should mind my own business.
I just don't think you should worry about it. I mean, it's nice of you,
But I should mind my own business.
I mean, it's all so complicated, isn't it?
You know, sometimes I think I could just disappear. No one would ever know I'd been here.
That's why we have children, honey. And mine need tucking up about now. You want to ride?
No.
You surprised you won that time?
Well, you know, it was funny because, I mean, I knew that the part, when I did it, you know, 4 years earlier, I knew the part was really a great role and a lot of fun to do. But I had no idea how it was going to be perceived because it was so, she was so kind of off the wall that I didn't, you know, I had no idea if, you know, if people would get it or not. But yes, I was, so, well, you know, it's like somebody said to me the other day, it might be the only Oscar-winning performance that no one has seen.
I saw it. I saw it on the beach when you had
It was
breakdown.
released for about 20 minutes in 2 theaters across the country, and that was like that was the extent of its run.
Well, in the desert that was my childhood, I was grateful for any kind of genuine affection, to feel cherished.
Who is the lucky Cub Scout?
My mother's second husband, Henry Casson. He was a lovely man. Meant the world to me. Well, we called him Daddy Casson, but he wasn't really my daddy. We weren't blood relations, so it wasn't incest. But he was kind and gentle. And he loved me.
I love the 54. Right. Ain't much a matter what happens tomorrow. Cause we men, ain't we? Yes, sir. Amen. 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 Yes.
And I know what you're going through. I know what you're feeling. You're scared.
I'm not scared.
Yes, you are. You're terrified. Everybody goes through that the first time. I went through it. The sooner you can match what's in your head with what's going on in the real world, the better you're gonna feel. In this business, you gotta have a little dirt on you for anybody to trust you.
Hey, let me tell you.
Shut up, Trim.
Would you get up off me, Snowflake? See, let me explain something to you. See, the way I figure this war would be over a whole lot sooner if you boys just turn right on around, head on back down that way. And you let us head on up there where the real fighting is, huh?
The men dying up that road.
And it wouldn't be nothing but Rebs dying if they let the 54th in it.
On my way up, I was calm as a cucumber. And I went through it because I knew I had my names written down, so I know I wasn't going to stumble too much. And then just as I went off stage, it was like I was stunned. Like I wasn't sure if I really won, or I just thought maybe I had passed out and someone else won. I really wasn't sure. I had to ask. I saw Kevin Kline. I said, I won, right?
I take 7 showers a day to keep clean. Also because I'm what's so vulgarly referred to as outdoorsy. Well, I'm not outdoorsy, I'm athletic. I sweat. There it is. Now we both know the sordid truth. I sweat and you're deaf. Aren't we a fine pair of misfits?
My husband did. He used to collect vintage Bentleys and Mercedes.
Wow, those are expensive cars.
Yes, they are. You know, having wealth is nothing to be ashamed of. We were very civic-minded. Yes, a black dress. Well, Hal always used to surprise me with jewelry. Extravagant pieces. I think he used to buy them at auction. So obvious what you're doing. You think I don't know? French au pair.
You are the first Australian actor or actress ever to win 2 Oscars.
Don't you forget it.
He's supposed to be Turkish. Some say his father was German. Nobody ever believed he was real. Nobody ever knew him or saw anybody that ever worked directly for him. But to hear Kobayashi tell it, anybody could have worked for Soze. You never knew. That was his power. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Management wants you gone by the end of the day.
Well, just what sort of severance package is management prepared to offer me, considering the information I have about our editorial director buying pussy with company money, which I think would interest the IRS since it technically constitutes fraud. And I'm sure that some of our advertisers and rival publications might like to know about it as well, not to mention Craig's wife. I want you to be happy. Would you like smiley sauce with that?
Lester, just stop it.
No. You don't get to tell me what to do. Ever again.
I remember that I had thanked Jack Lemmon in my acceptance speech because Sam Mendes and I, in some degree, based the character of Lester Burnham, a sort of an arc of that character, on Jack's extraordinary performance in The Apartment, which is one of the great films of all time. So I called Jack. Now, Jack had won an Academy Award in 1955 for Mr. Roberts, and then he won again in 1973 for Save the Tiger. And so I called Jack after I dedicated my Oscar to him. And he said, "You're a son of a bitch." I said, "Why?" He said, "I won my first Oscar in 1955. It took me 18 years to win it. The second one, you did it in 4 years. You son of a bitch."
Come over here and let me look at you. Your hand.
My hand?
Yes. Now stand over there. Just natural.
You're English, aren't you? I knew it the moment you started to talk. You make our language sound so delightful. My late husband used to say...
Never mind what he said. What about your ticket?
Well, I'll certainly look, my dear, but I'm sure...
Why don't you stop wasting my time, Mrs. Quonset? You are Mrs. Ada Quonset, aren't you?
Well, since you're aware of who I am, there's no use denying it, is there?
We have a photograph here of a special moment in your life, Helen Hayes. Well, there it is. There you are with Mr. Irving
Where?
Thalberg. Well, you can see it over there on the monitor, receiving an Oscar.
No, that's with Louis B. Mayer.
Louis B. Mayer, excuse me.
Yes.
What film was that for, Helen?
That was a film that my husband wrote for me called The Sin of Madelon Clodet. He hadn't written the original story, but it was a play, a very famous play. But he really lovingly wrote every bit of business, every mood change in that play to suit me in that film. And so through him, I won that Oscar.
Though she enjoyed making Airport, Hayes admitted in her autobiography she never saw the movie. Once on a cruise, friends tried to make her watch it in the ship's theater, but just as the film began, Hayes started having a sneezing fit and she had to leave the theater. A sneezing fit she made sure didn't end until she was safely back in her cabin.
Shut up! Anybody want a milkshake? All right, come over here. You and you. Hey, Whiskers! Come over here. Move ass when I call you. Get in. You!
There's the key. All you gotta do is shoot me. And you and Bob can just ride on out of here free as birds. Is it loaded? Wouldn't do you much good if it wasn't.
When's the last time you picked your feet, huh?
Yeah, what's he talking about?
I got a man in Poughkeepsie who wants to talk to you. You ever been in Poughkeepsie? Huh? Have you ever been in Poughkeepsie?
Hey, man, come on, give me a break.
Hey,
I don't
come
know
on,
what you're
come on,
talking
say it.
about.
Let me hear you say it. Come on. Have you ever been in Poughkeepsie? You've been in Poughkeepsie, haven't you?
I want to hear it. Come on. Yes, You've been there, right?
Yeah.
You sat on the edge of the bed, didn't you? You took off your shoes, put your finger between your toes, and picked your feet, didn't you? Now say it. Yeah.
You know, you're a real nice guy, you know, and you come off as a nice guy, but in that film, you know, you were real rough in playing that. Is that, how do you get to be mean? I mean, you're not a mean guy. You know, that's not you, right?
No.
So,
But I had been in show business a while. That makes you pretty mean. No, I had a lot of trouble with that role early on, the first few days of that. Matter of fact, I'd said to the director early on, hey, maybe you've made a mistake here. You know, I can't really pop this guy in the mouth. And he said, well, we'll do it later on in the film then. So we redid a scene where I was supposed to be, you know, slapping this kid around. We did it at the end of the film 3 months later. Well, I was ready then. You know, after working in the streets of New York for 3 months, you're ready for about anything.